Okay, it's late April. I'm making some changes to the water feature. So the idea is to basically have a little pond fountain. It's not really a fountain, but little tiny pool. And I got my drain in there, and I have a 2-inch line, which you can see goes up into the wall. And then I have that 24-inch vertical descent, shear descent, I think they call them, shear descent. So water's just gonna fall out of there. And things were going well until I figured, and then I've got my water inlet here, and then I put a variable speed pump, which my pool contractor recommended. And then on top of that, I put a filter. Turns out that's a sediment filter, so it's not really ideal for this application. And then from the filter, the plumbing goes up and into the shear descent. And I did put a valve inside to regulate how much water flows out of that shear descent. Plus, that's a variable speed motor, so I thought, well, that will go a long way to being able to regulate the flow of water. Okay, so the problem is everything's great. The problem is that that motor is noisy. And so you want to just basically be hearing the water coming out of the shear descent and spilling into the pond area. So that's not going to really work. So after talking to a couple people, what I had to do was shift gears and cut out this section of the bottom, jackhammered it out, scored it, jackhammered it out, and I've got concrete in the bottom, and then I'm going to form up inside there and basically build a box, and then this top is going to set down in order to access the motor. And then here is the submersible pump. So we're going with a submersible pump. Basically, it's a pump that is designed to go underwater, and I'm told once they're underwater, you can't hear them. So that's the ticket. I talked to a guy at Nelson's, I don't know, I can't remember the name, down in Houston, and the guy that I spoke to has done a number of water features, not like this, but basically typical, more typical projects. And he recommended this little giant submersible pump. So, and it's supposed to, so I had to, one of the calculations was 2-inch pipe, how long the run is and how long the rise is. So I know I have a 6-foot rise to the shear descent, and then it's got to pump water vertically as well. So that will give us a little more than we need, and then I'm going to keep the regulator valve. And I did read that you're not supposed to ever reduce the supply of water in order to regulate the amount of flow, but you can turn down the output of water. So I'm going to do that, and I'll keep that. I'll put a valve, and I ordered a Pentair spa filter that I'll rig up in here once I eliminate that whole mess. So, and then I thought last night, this is going to be a problem because I was just going to bury the cable. This cord on the submersible pump is not supposed to be cut. Makes sense, it's underwater. So I was just going to put the pump, once I finish this housing, basically the box underneath the floor where the submersible pump will go. I was just going to run the conduit, the electrical cable, in that notch. But then I thought, oh, if I ever have to change out the pump, I'm going to have to pull up the white plaster, so that's not ideal. So Now I'm glad I'm doing this before. I'm basically notching that hole a little bit deeper, and I'm going to put that half inch pipe in there, and then it'll turn and go in there. So that way, if I do have to swap out the filter, the pump, it'll be relatively easy. Okay, that's the status of the project. So next thing to do is I'm going to finish notching for this half-inch pipe, and then I'm going to basically form the box and get that poured today and let that dry, and then tomorrow hopefully I can go ahead and start plastering.